Well, today I haven't got one, but four other ladies in my Zoom room. It's really good to see you all, ladies. And we're going to be talking about something specific, which is the World Wellness Weekend. So, Sandie, let me start with you and do introduce yourself and also tell everybody what the World Wellness Weekend is initially and how you got involved with it in the first place, because this isn't your first World Wellness Weekend.
No, it's not my first rodeo. This is number 3 for me. So I'm Sandie Ashing. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a psychotherapist. I teach clinical hypnotherapy here in Andalusia and Gibraltar. I first got involved with the World Wellness Weekend 3 years ago. It is now in its year 8 across the world. It was the creation of Jean Guy, and I can't pronounce his surname. Sorry, Jean Guy. Jean Guy, he's from Belgium, and he has a lot to do with spas and wellness and things. And he travels the world giving recommendations for spas. And 8-9 years ago, he thought, why do we just have a World Wellness Day? It's not long enough. And he wanted to create something a bit special and a bit different. So 8 years ago, he came up with the idea of doing it on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this way it gives people the chance to give something, but then get something back. And his idea is that wellness professionals, whether it's mental health, physical health, nowadays there's paddleboarding, there's flamenco dancing, Pilates, everything gets involved. Any kind of thing to do with wellness are being involved. And the idea is you donate a minimum of an hour of your time for other people to experience what it is that you do. And it's grown in 8 years. It's grown now. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Spain officially joined with one lady called Maria. She was a massage therapist from a bit further up north. She saw something on the internet and joined it. She was the only person in Spain who did it, but she gave 2 or 3 massages away that weekend. But obviously that put Spain on the radar. So the following year, they got in touch with her and said, could she help coordinate it out across more of Spain? Her best friend also speaks English, a lady called Sandra. She also speaks English. And I had actually been working with Sandra's son. I know she won't mind me saying that. I've been working with Sandra's son. So she contacted me and she said, Sandie, you know lots of English speaking therapists of all different kinds. I went, sort of. So she says, can you help me spread the word? And so that's what happened. And at the time, I was still working around the Marbella area quite a lot. So we spread our knowledge, our people, our contacts all around the Marbella area. Some of them were in different parts of Spain, across the Canary Islands as well. But lots of people got involved. Lots of people just thought, this is fun. You know, we can give an hour paddleboarding lesson, like I say, or a sailing lesson. We can give an hour's flamenco class. And a lot of people got involved. And I came up myself with the walk. Now, I think, Ali, you've had this, you've done the walk, but not in a group. A group setting is something quite magical. It's an audio that I created for people to go for a walk in trance with their eyes open. They know where they are. They're very much aware of where they are. But as I talk my hypno speak into their head, they can goal set, they can imagine what's happening in the future, and they can start to bring that in. So the first year that I was involved, I did the hypno walk, and then we ended up at Sugar Beach, where I talked about hypnotherapy and all the good that it does. Stuart stuck somebody to the floor, so that was magical. And I did a group hypnosis with them, and it was all very, very beautiful and very lovely. And we got notification to say that Marbella had been the most active city in the world. There was 130 countries that took part. And of those countries, Marbella was the most active. We had more events happening in Marbella than anywhere else, which was quite an honor. So during that following year, I was contacted a few times, and they said, okay, Sandie, you did really great with the hypnosis thing, you know, probably because maybe because I was the only one. They said, would you take on the role of ambassador of mental wellness and hypnosis for Spain? Like I say, it might have been because I was the only one, but I won't say that really. So I said yes, but my Spanish isn't that strong, but they said, it's okay. We'll do lots of translation and things. And so this is what happened. And we were coordinating. I was helping to coordinate a few of the hypnotists doing different things or doing their things around Spain. And again, I said, right, I'll do a couple of these walks and a couple of these talks. And I wrote a script that I called the Global Ripple, because at the time, obviously the world was, it still is, a bit on the chaotic side. And I thought, if I can just throw a few little stones into the water that can create a ripple, hopefully that ripple will spread out. And last year we worked very, very hard getting lots of events coordinated. And all of a sudden we got the message that Jean-Guy was actually going to spend the weekend here in Spain. He could have been in 140 different countries. He chose here. And I was honored to be able to meet him a few days before the weekend kicked off. I was invited down to a gathering in Marbella, where he very casually just handed me a certificate. And I very casually just took it and went, thanks ever so much, because I didn't have my glasses on and I couldn't really see what it said. And it was all very casual. There was lots of cameras came out, but it was all just very casual. And it was only in the car on the way home I realized he'd handed me a certificate of World Mental Wellness Leader for that year. And it was like, oh, thank you. This year, he obviously got on the line, and because he didn't, oh, that was the other thing. He did the walk with us when he was talking about the walk, and I was explaining what it was. He got his PA to clear his morning on the Saturday morning, and he actually came on the walk with us on the Saturday morning. We walked along the Marbella Prom to Sugar Beach, all in trance. And I started off the Global Ripple with him. And he was very impressed. He said he'd never, ever experienced anything like what we'd just done. And he asked if he could share the recording that I'd sent to his phone to some global leaders. Yes, was the answer. With the idea of seeing what people thought about this. And then he got back to me a couple of months ago and said, Sandie, you did such a great job for Spain. I realize it's challenging because you don't really speak the language. How about you take on the world for me instead? Like, what? Can you just be the leader of mental wellness and hypnosis for the world this year for 160 countries? Yes, was my answer through the gritted teeth yet again. Of course I can, of course. And I thought, what do I do? What do I do? So I thought, well, I've already got the audio, which is incredibly powerful. I've already created the script, which I've made even more powerful this year because I think we didn't quite bring as much peace in as we did. And I thought, how can we make this more powerful? So he said, do you think you can gather 50 hypnotherapists across the world for me? And I said, yeah. And I think I'll try and gather 100 just because I don't do anything by half. So my mission is to gather 100. I think we're at about 58 at the minute. So we've got a couple of weeks to go. But my mission is to gather 100 hypnotherapists across the globe that speak a variety of languages, because what they are doing is they're translating the script into their actual language so they can deliver the same message of peace. And we're all chucking little stones into this ripple of peace, which will hopefully is going to create a great big wave or a tsunami around the world this time. 100 hypnotherapists doing it to groups of people. So that's how I sort of got involved. It was just a quick message of, could you just? And that was on the week where I always say yes. That's Brilliant. How I got involved with it.
Okay, so going on to hypnotherapists that speak another language, I know we've got Anella here. Anella, you've translated it into Danish.
Yes, that's right.
So tell us what you're actually going to be doing with your World Wellness Weekend.
My World Wellness Weekend will be 2 walks. One in Migras Pueblo on Saturday, the 21st, and I will, with the walk, after the walk, I will have the ripple hypnosis. And after that, first in English and then in Danish. And on Friday, it will be the same walk, but in La Cala de Migras, where first the walk and then hypnosis on English and then in Danish. And on Sunday, it will be only in online hypnosis in Danish.
Amazing. And Wendy, you're going to be doing one with Sandie. So tell us about that one, and also the one that you're doing yourself too.
Yeah, I live fairly close to Sandie, so I'm not going to actually do the walk myself. I'm going to go along and be her tag lady, wing woman. Yeah. So that'll be on the Friday. And then in the evening, I'm actually doing one on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to do one on pain, one on stress and anxiety, and one on grief, sort of just letting go. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the 3 days. So I'm
Wonderful.
looking forward to it. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. It went really well last year with the ripple. I'll be doing that and the ripple. So there'll be, I don't know whether I'll do the ripple every day just to reinforce it, or whether I might actually, just thinking aloud, I might do it after tag it onto each one of mine. So finish off with the ripple of peace
That'd work.
after
Good
each
idea.
session. So I think that would work really well. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
So,
And Nicola, what are you doing in your area?
So mine kickstarts on the Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be at the Europa Bar in Paloma Park in Bellamadna and do I'll be doing Sandie's walk, followed by the ripple. Following on from that, for me, it's really important because I live in Spain. I'm from England, but my husband's Irish. And I've got very close connections to the British consulate. So I wanted to incorporate all of those and be able to give something back to each. So at 2 o'clock Spanish time on the Saturday, I'll be doing a Zoom session with people from the UK. All of mine's in English. Do apologise. I'm not as talented as Anella. I don't do Danish or any other language. Then on Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be doing a Zoom session with deep relaxation and the ripple to Spain. 12 o'clock Spanish time, Ireland. And then I sound a bit like the Eurovision Song Contest, don't I? 10 points. And then finishing off at 5 o'clock with the British consulate. And for me, one of the most important ones is the British consulate because they do such an amazing job. They speak to British people all over the world in all sorts of terrible circumstances. And if anybody really needs some peace, it's those guys. So that for me is the real give.
Yeah, I love that you've done one specifically for a group, a community. That's a really lovely idea. So
yeah, fantastic. Can I just jump in? If you want to come to our walk, it's in Torre del Mar. We're going to meet by the lighthouse. It's a pretty iconic thing to find on the promenade, a blue and white striped lighthouse in Torre del Mar. We're going to meet there at 10 o'clock. No, we're not. We're going to meet there at 9:30. And we sign up and we pass the audio across. We start walking at 10 o'clock, but we're going to do a loop. We're going to go along the prom and back through the garden. So we end up back at the lighthouse. Then we're going across the road to Bruca's Witch's Restaurant, which I think is ideally named. It's fantastic. And we're going to have a little talk on hypnosis, and then we'll do the global ripple. I'm also doing the global ripple to a private group on Saturday morning. There is a massive hypnosis convention happening in Birmingham, and I've been asked to come on via Zoom and hypnotize all the hypnotists and give them the global ripple to keep that going. So that's quite good. I'm doing one online on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. So anybody that wants to come onto that can ask me for the Zoom link. It is on the website of the World Wellness Weekend. The World Wellness Weekend's website is worldwellnessweekend.org. It's got a map on there. You can just put your location in and it'll pull up markers as what's happening in your area, all the different stuff that's happening in your area. So you can see where you can join a free flamenco class, a yoga class, Pilates, whatever happens to be happening. You just pull up the map and it'll show you what's going on. So we invite everybody to come to their local one, find one of us. And please do come along, be part of it. Find other events as well that are happening. There are lots of things happening, and it would be, I think it's a wonderful thing that everybody's giving their time to show people what they can do and to help them.
Yep. So just to clarify, all of the events are on worldwellnessweekend.org.
They are.
All of the events are completely free. Nobody has to pay a single penny for any of them. They just have to turn up.
Yep.
And if people are therapists or teachers or coaches, how can they get involved? Do they contact you? Or
no, tell them to go, unless they're a hypnotist and they want to come and do what I'm doing with mine, because I say we have this group, we're aiming for 100. So if you're a hypnotherapist and you want to be part of the 100, let me know. But if you're a massage therapist, stone therapist, Reiki healer, anything, and you want to get involved, go to the website, have a read through. There's all the different pillars of wellness on the website. See what fits you. Have a think about what you'd like to do. In the park in Marbella, I'm not sure what the park's called, it's the one near the seafront, but in the park in Marbella, they're actually having, it is all in Spanish, but they're having a marathon of massage. They did it last year, they have all massage beds out, and they're doing literally a marathon. I think there's 20 different massage ladies down there that are going to continue that through most of the day. They're also doing a couple of meditations, but in Spanish, under the trees down there. So if you're in Marbella area, click the map and you'll see what's happening in the park. That's going on all weekend.
Brilliant. Sounds really good. Look forward to joining some of the Zooms. So or going locally to the events. So thank you ladies very much for joining me. And really looking forward. Sandie, just confirm the dates again.
The dates are Friday the 20th, Saturday the 21st, Sunday the 22nd of September. So not this weekend coming, but next week.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you ladies for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you so much, Ali, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.